everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. As you can tell by the title, we are at dress number 9 of the 10-piece summer dress collection series. I want to welcome all those who are new to the channel, and thank you to those who continue to tune in from week to week. I greatly appreciate it. And so just a quick recap, because it's been a couple videos since I've done one of my dress reveals. And so if you want to know the other dresses, the other 8, I will have the playlist pop up at the end of this video. But this series is me. I put together a 10-piece summer dress collection series. So 5 of the patterns are indie and 5 of them are from commercial patterns, all from my stash. For those who don't know, for 2024, I am not purchasing any new commercial or indie patterns. And so far, it has been working out so well. And yeah, but I do have a few written down. I'll share those in 2025. The ones I want to get that did get released through 2024. I'm thinking, yeah, I do want that. But anyway, let's get to this dress. Okay, I say this about all of the dresses I've made, that I am in love with them, but I believe it's the colors, and I know it's called Summer Dress Collection Series, but I think the day you're seeing this, I'm like at the cusp because it's officially fall on the calendar. But for those who do not know, I live in Texas and it is hot with humid. And actually today we had plans to go out and run around, and I was going to wear this, take pictures while I was out. Y'all, we decided to chill. It is hot. We decided to chill today, and so yeah, pictures and everything is just from around here, around the house. But anyway, so today's dress is the MiMiG from the MiMiG book. I will grab it. And I only have one dress left, and that actually is a mashup. Let me grab the MiMiG book as well as the last dress, and then you can see, okay, where I'm going. Okay, before I share with you the details from the MiMiG book, and I'm getting ready to tell you where this fabric is from because it is on sale. It has been marked down. I will tell you exactly where you can find this. So my last dress, dress number 10, which will probably not come until, obviously, it's September. By the time you're seeing this, September is pretty much over. It won't come until October. But it's a mashup between ME2027 and ME2020. And so I still am on the fence about fabric and what fabric I want to use. So you'll see once I finally get there. You will see. But today is from the MiMiG Make It Yours book. Is actually, if you have this book, it is the actual pattern is a button-up shirt, and it is on page 37. But then the hack to make the shirt button up into a dress, that is starting on page, I believe I did mark it for those who are interested in doing this hack. It is on page 69. Page 69. 68 is where it starts. And so that's where you can find how to do the adjustments. And so my review will come from, okay, the instructions. For those who don't know, this book comes with 7 full-size patterns with 18 modifications, which creates then over 100 different looks. And so her different looks that MiMiG put together are in the back of the book. And the beginning of the books talks about a lot of different resources, what nap is, pre-treating your fabric, serger, pressing tools. And so for someone who might be a beginner, at that beginner level, that information in the beginning of the book is really useful. I didn't refer to any of that. I just wanted to know what was her recommendation on doing the hack. And so I will say, make sure you have enough fabric. I had just enough. I actually have I won't say quite a bit left, but I do have roughly, some remnants, maybe a ½ yard of fabric, and then little bits of remnant. Not sure what I will do with this. Probably be lining in something, and of course use for pockets, collar, inside collar stand, stuff like that. So that's what I will use that for. The fabric came from So Much Fabric. And like I said, it is on sale. It has been marked down. It's in her remnant section. It is called Pink Lemonade Floral Linen Print. Absolutely gorgeous. I purchased this 3 yards. Yeah, it was 3 yards I purchased last year. I want to say maybe last summer, beginning of summer. I can't remember exactly. And she ran out, and I believe this was a restock, and now she just has what's left in her shop. So I will definitely link to it down in the description box. If you think you love this, yeah, you better head on over and grab it from the remnant section. So let's get into the pattern, the review of the pattern. So the patterns actually do come in the back of the book, all of them, but they're like the patterns that are overlapped and you have to trace out the patterns. I wasn't doing all of that. So MiMiG did say when the book was first released to, maybe this is still an option now, but if you purchase the book and want the individual PDF patterns so you can just print them at your leisure and whatnot separately, then just to send proof of purchase and all of that. And so I did do that, and I had this pattern printed separately. And so with that, I did not, one of the things I did not do, obviously when you have PDF patterns like this, is recommended that you trace off all of your pattern pieces so you can keep it intact and use it for future and all of that. But I always knew that when I got this book that I wanted to hack it into a dress, and so I had no intentions on using the pattern for anything other than that. So I did not trace the bodice pieces. However, I did trace the sleeve and the cuff piece, only because the original cuff is for the cuff at the bottom of the sleeve, and I knew I was doing a short sleeve and I wanted to do a cuff and a tab. So the tab did not come with it. I just used a pattern piece from another pattern for my cuff that I created, and you'll see the pictures close up when I show that. And then the buttons, I did do buttonholes on this particular dress because I wanted some pretty buttons. And shout out to Talisha, Creativity by T. I remember her in one of her videos talking about she had gotten some buttons from Hobby Lobby, and I was out running errands and I was closer to a Hobby Lobby than a Joann's, and I was like, let me run in here and see if they got some buttons. And these buttons were 99¢. It was a 3-pack for 99¢. Love, just perfect, absolutely perfect. I will say, when I was doing my buttonholes, everything was going smooth, everything, right? Until I got to the top, and what happened? I ran out of bobbin thread for my machine, because I do my buttonholes on my SE400, my brother. I haven't done it on my Bernina yet, but I ran out of bobbin thread, and so what I end up doing is unpicking all of the threads out of, because it only did like just a little bit, not much. And so I unpicked all of that, obviously rethreaded. You guys, when I went to go back over that area, it started snagging the buttons. It just would not create the buttonhole, and I was like, wouldn't you know it, get to the last button and here I'm having all these problems. And so because of all that unpicking, and I kept unpicking those threads that then were messing up, and so now obviously the fabric is now delicate because I have been unpicking and unpicking. So what I did do, you can't tell, but I did put a thin piece of interfacing on the back side of the fabric, so when I do the buttonhole again, it wouldn't cause, you know, all those issues, because now that area is delicate. Worked perfectly. So recommendation, maybe you already know that, but if that happens to you, put some interfacing on the back. I use my duckbill scissors to cut around the buttonhole, the extra interfacing, and so that's what I did. So let's get into the instructions. I felt the instructions, because I made shirt dresses. Let me see if I can talk from a maybe beginner that might just get this book. I have made shirt dresses in the past. And this has a yoke piece. You have the front, the back, a yoke, which is double, and collar stand. And this here does not have a grown on button placket in the front. You have to sew that on. It's a sew on button placket. So having said that, I've made shirt dresses in the past, so certain things I wasn't really paying attention to. However, I did notice a few things when I was making it. Let's get to just the instructions of the shirt dress. The instructions of the shirt dress. One of the things that I will say that with the yoke, I did the burrito method for the yoke. The instructions don't tell you to do the burrito method, and so because I wanted a clean finish on the excuse me, on the inside. And I'll flip this out so you can see what I'm saying. So I did the burrito method for my yoke piece. Once I added the yoke, and then I burritoed in, you know, attaching the front. If you've seen the burrito method on yokes and stuff in the past, you know how that goes. So that's one of the things I did. The other thing, what was the other thing I was going to mention? Oh, adjustments outside of the hack. So I really do like the hack because I've extended shirts into, you know, shirt dresses and stuff before, but I can say with the instructions on the hack instructions in the book, I do like how there's, to me, taken better into account fullness that will be around, you know, from the waist down. To how long you want your dress to be. I typically, from previous extensions of shirt dresses I've done, I think I've done it twice before, I didn't do that. So she walks you through how to extend it using from the shoulder down and marking off the hem and making sure you go out far enough to the side seams and extend everything out properly. Definitely good tips. Now I know. Is it work? It is. It just take your time. Don't be in a rush. This is not one of those projects that you just rushing through. If you're a person who already knows how to hack patterns and you just go through stuff like this, you know, you don't need all that extra help. But I appreciated that because I felt like the final fit really was really good. So good. Now, there is a downside, in my opinion, about the book. And I think I mentioned this when I first got the book. It's not a size inclusive book. It's not. The size only goes up to a 2XL. And so with a 2XL, you are looking at, let's see here, a bust of 52, and these are finished garment measurements. A bust of 52, a waist of 47 1/4, and hips of 54, and bicep of 19 1/8. So, you know, it's not, and that's what's labeled as a 2XL. And so that is the extent of the finished garment measurements. Now, if you are into and don't mind grading up patterns, that's not my thing. I don't grade up patterns, but you can grade up the pattern. I feel like she did have a section in here in the book about that. So what other things that I want to say? Oh, when you do print, the other downside to me was the patterns. So the pattern is, everything is in black and white. So you have to be really careful when you're looking at the different size lines to make sure you're tracing off the right size line and all of that. It's not in color. And I think I'm pretty spoiled by that. For some other pattern companies where I know Love Notions, I know Itch to Stitch, and a few others I worked with, I love when Indie put their size lines in different colors. So it's easy for tracing, it's easy for cutting out, all of that. And so those are probably the two cons. Not very size inclusive, and then the lines for the pattern is not in color. Outside of that, I felt like the construction instructions were really good. There are, for some of the maybe what might be considered the tricky bits or tricky parts, there are illustrations in the book. So there is illustration for the placket, doing the sleeve with the placket. Obviously I didn't do that, but there are illustrations in there so you can kind of see how that process goes. And then also, what was the other thing? The collar stand, very easy to put together. I found, even with the hack, and needing to, because you make so many adjustments with the hack and everything, notches and everything still matched up, which was brilliant. Which, I mean, that made me, you know, appreciate how she took you through the steps and making sure you had the right amount of fullness and make sure you trace things off properly, all of that. So the other thing that I did have to do, my other modification, was I had to lower my bust dart. You guys, the sun is going in and out. The bust dart, I could tell by looking at the original pattern piece, I was like, that bust dart is way too high. I had to lower her by 2 inches, and I'll pop up a clip here when I tell you it meets perfectly. It sits exactly where it's supposed to sit. I put on the bra, I put laid the pattern on me and marked where my apex was, and then I went ahead and made the adjustment to lower the bust dart. What book did I use? I always share this book. Actually, I'll have a resource video coming up soon, but it's the Fit for Real People book. I actually use that book to lower the bust dart, and just for ease I went and picked it up. So it's this book, Fit for Real People, and the lowering of the dart is on page 136. Learn to move darts. That's where it starts. Page 136. No, I'm sorry. To raise or lower a dart, 134. Page 134. So if you do have this book, go to page 134, and those are the instructions I followed to lower my dart. Always, because anytime I need to do that, those are the instructions I follow, and it always works out beautifully. But yeah, you guys, I am so happy. I'm gonna bring you up closer to the dress, but I absolutely love this. I mean, the fabric just makes this dress completely pop. I absolutely love it. And so I'm gonna show you closer the buttons. So here are the buttons. Aren't those beautiful? So beautiful. And so my cuff here, this is sewn together. I didn't make a buttonhole because I don't intend to unfold this at all. And so yeah, that's more decorative, but isn't that just gorgeous? And here, as you can see, my bust dart there. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. And then the inside here's where I said I added the interfacing into the back because it's got a little delicate, and I just use my duckbill scissors to go around there. Of course, I fray check all of my buttonholes and everything like that. But yeah, that is what I did. So I am super happy with how this turns out. I will pop up some video and picture here. I love the length of it. Again, the instructions on how to make the hack to make sure you have enough fullness around your waist and your hips and all of that, really, really good. I highly recommend. If you fit into the size range for the book that it offers, I do highly recommend the book, because I just like and appreciate those different tips in the book that help you navigate those areas and those sections. But I'm gonna flip her right side out real quick so you can see how she looks. You'll all have to let me know what you think down in the comment section of this dress. And I did serge her off. I completely serged her all the way around. I did not do a French seam on this. And because this is linen, it does hold a bit of a wrinkle. So I had to like iron this, will press it actually a couple times. But this is how the back is looking. This is the back yoke, so you have that double yoke, so you have that nice clean finish. I have one of my tags from my shop in there, but yeah, I absolutely love how she looks. That is the button band. But yeah, I I love it. 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 I love how she looked. And attaching the cuff is real easy. So once you, from the outside, you put the cuff in, you put the tab in first, then you put the cuff in, and you just serge that all the way around. If you can see my serger threads, you just serge that all together. And so when you turn it right side out, once you turn up the cuff, all of the serger thread, I'm sorry, the serger, the seam is hidden in that cuff, and you won't see that at all. Yeah, so you won't see that at all, not at all. But I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me know what you all think. Let me know if you have this book. Have you done anything out of the MiMiG book? This is my first piece from the book. I did print off a couple other items that I want to do hacks on as well. So, but this is my first one. First of more to come. And again, I do appreciate all the tips on the hacking, because there's different things I hadn't thought about or considered. So I do recommend. But this is my dress number 9, everybody. I'm so super happy with it. Love how it turned out. Let me know what you all think. Make sure that you stay tuned for Wednesday. That will be my Precious Fabric. I'm participating in Tomcat Stitchery Precious Fabric Challenge, and so my reveal of that will be on Wednesday. So make sure you stay tuned for Wednesday's video. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, and I thank you everybody for tuning in today. You all have a blessed, fantastic start to your week, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.